How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another fight prediction video. This is going to be for tonight's Bellator event. Bellator 256, BADER versus MACHIDA 2. And yeah, let's get right into it with the prelims. So the first fight we got Duma versus Will Smith. Not that Will Smith. No. So yeah, Duma's coming in 4-2. Just lost to Jordana Lugo, so not really any shame in that loss. Lugo's looking pretty solid. He's also on this card. We got two New England boys here. Duma coming from Rhode Island, and we got Will Smith from West Haven, Connecticut. So he's coming in 3-2, and he had a couple fights on CES. Just had his first Bellator fight. He lost there. I'm going to go with Duma in this one. I just think Duma's a little bit better in pretty much almost all areas, man. I think Duma's got better wrestling, better striking. I just think he's going to be a little too much for Will Smith to handle in this one. I think it's going to be a pretty big jump in competition for him. And yeah, just Duma's a younger guy, training out of Triforce. A little shorter and a little bit shorter reach, but it's basically negligible. I think that Duma is definitely going to get it done here, so that's going to be my pick. Then moving on to Diana Avstragova against Tara Graf, and yeah, I'm going to go with Avstragova here. She's a massive favorite, like minus 1,000, minus 1,400, minus whatever, man. Huge favorite. She's 22. She's 2-0 as a pro. And I just think that, I gotta agree with the public here, man. I don't think Tara Graf's really gonna have much for her. I think Avstragova is gonna be able to do what she wants on the feet, probably do what she wants on the ground, and I just think she's gonna get it done pretty easily. So minus 1,400, guys. Like, come on. What do you want me to say here? And then moving on to Nainoa Dung against Izzy William. And Dung, I wasn't too impressed with his last fight, I'm going to be honest. And I really was thinking about taking Izzy William here. I was really going to do it. I was thinking like all week that he was going to get it done. And it looks like Tapology agrees with me. 64% of people who picked the fight have William. But I'm going with Nainoa Dung here. He's 6'1" versus 5'8". I believe Izzy William is coming down a weight class, I believe, for this fight. Dung is a lot younger. He's 22, whereas William's 33. I think Dung can iron out some of those areas where he was having difficulty before. I think he's going to be pretty methodical with his approach. I feel like Izzy William's going to come hard right away, try to put pressure on him, try to hurt him. But I think Dung can probably stick around and win a decision in this one, man. I really didn't want to do it, but I'm going to go with him. So we'll see if it comes back to bite me or not. Then moving on to Jalen Bates and Jeffrey Glossner. Jeffrey Glossner, he's got some knockouts. He got a nice knockout on LFA. That was like 3 years ago now, though. He's got pretty good power, 2-1 as a pro. And then we have Jalen Bates, who's 1-0 as a pro, but lots of good amateur experience. Fighting against pretty decent guys, as far as amateur fights go. Just coming off a nice win against Joe Sapino on Bellator. And, he's 5'9" with a 73.5-inch reach. That's really long, training out of an American top team location. So I'm going to go with Jalen Bates here. I feel pretty confident that he's going to be able to get it done. I really like his game. I liked what I saw from him last time, and I don't think he's going to have too much trouble with Jeffrey Glossner here. I think he's basically going to be able to do what he wants. I think he's going to be able to get it down pretty easily and really do some damage and have some dominant positions on the ground. So definitely going with Jalen Bates there. Minus 600, not a great price on him, but I do think you should get it done for sure. Then moving on to Cody Law versus Nathan Grieve. And Cody Law, man, we saw him not too long ago against Kenny Champion, and he was able to put on a great performance there, winning by ground and pound. And Cody Law is just, he's a really good wrestler. He's got serious power in his strikes, and he's just really good, man. He could get the submission here, he could get the knockout here, he could win a dominant decision. I got respect for Nathan Grieve for sure. You know, I think he has some pretty decent wrestling as well, but I don't think he's going to be quite on the level of Cody Law. I think this is going to be a pretty big step up in competition for him, and yeah, I just think Cody Law has all the tools to get this done, and you know, he might even just tap him out in the second round or something. I think he's going to be able to get it down when he wants to and really be dominant on the ground. So then we have Cass Bell coming up against Jordana Lugo, and you know, Cass Bell, he's got good grappling. He's got a submission or two, or more on his resume. I know he's got two at least. He might have more. He's a good grappler. And then we have Jordana Lugo, who is 5-0, and has looked really good, man. Beat John Duma, who we were talking about earlier, back when Duma was 4-1. That was Duma's most recent fight, I believe, wasn't it? I guess it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so Jordana Lugo, man, I like him. I really like what I see out of him. He's got pretty good takedown defense. He's got good striking. And, you know, Cass Bell, his one loss was to Rafael Stotts, so that's really not a bad loss. But it's just like, I don't know if he's going to have the tricks up his sleeve to be able to beat Jordana Lugo here. He's definitely going to want to get it down. I don't think Lugo's going to be, you know, very, very receptive to that. I don't think he's going to let him get it down. I don't really think he's going to be in too much danger. I think Lugo's going to be able to control the distance, keep the fight on the feet, maybe get taken down for a little bit, but I feel like he'll be able to get back up. And, you know, he's got pretty solid takedown defense as well. So I think Lugo has all the tools to get it done here. I'm pretty confident in him doing that. You know, minus 325, I think that's a pretty decent price to pay for him. You know, Lugo, he's a little shorter by 1 inch. He's much longer. He's got a 73-inch reach, whereas Bell only has a 67-inch reach. And, you know, Bell's going to want to look to grapple, so that's really not going to be in his favor. So I really like Lugo in this spot. I think it's a good spot for him. Then moving on to Nogueira against Jessica Borga. And, yeah, Nogueira 7-2, Borga 3-2. Borga just coming off a win in Bellator. And Nogueira is coming off 2 straight losses. One of those was to Jesse Miel. The other one was to Julia Budd. So not really terrible losses. And I think that Nogueira is going to be able to get this fight down and really just kind of lead on the ground and basically do what she wants. I can see her getting a submission. I can also see her just working a lot of good pressure on the ground and working a lot of dominant positions, top position for a long time and winning a decision. So I think Nogueira is going to be able to get it done. Shouldn't be too much of a sweat on this one. I think she probably gets it done by submission. And then moving on to Dalton Rasta versus Tony Johnson. And Rasta's a huge favorite here. I'm kind of surprised. I guess I can't be too surprised. He's 4-0. He's looked really good recently. Looked awesome in his last fight. Just, you know, pretty much just a beast wrestler, man. You know, he's looking to get it down and then do damage when he gets down there. But he's coming up against a guy here in Tony Johnson who's pretty good. I still think Rasta should be favored. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if I would have him as this big of a favorite, but I still have a little bit of money on him today on a parlay. And, you know, you've got Tony Johnson training out of American Kickboxing Academy, 6'2" with a 77-inch reach, whereas Rosta's 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. You know, Johnson's 37, whereas Ross is 25. I definitely think Ross is going to win. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's as clear-cut as the odds might have you believe. But ultimately, I do think Ross is going to be able to put the pressure on, get it to the ground, and get it done. He could get a knockout for sure. I kind of feel like it might just be a decision. Might be a dominant, unanimous decision, but he definitely could get the knockout. I guess we'll see, but Ross is definitely going to be the pick, and I feel pretty good about it. So then we have Dan Moret against Goichi Yamauchi. And Yamauchi's 25-4. You know, he's a staple in Bellator, a really good fighter, 28 years old, 5'10" with a 74-inch reach, coming in against Dan Moret, who recently snapped a 3-fight losing streak with his last win against Anton Koivunen. And, yeah, you know, he had a little stint in the UFC where he went 0-3. One of those losses was to Gilbert Burns, probably most notably. He's 34 years old, and I just, you know, I really like Yamauchi here, really like him. I like Yamauchi pretty much every time he fights. You know, there's not too many guys that he's been up against where I was thinking he probably wouldn't win. You know, he had that loss to Michael Chandler 3 years ago, but ever since then it's been 3 straight wins. He hasn't fought in about a year, and I think he's fought 1 month more recently than Dan Moret has, so that shouldn't really be an issue. And I just think he's better than Dan Moret straight up, guys. I really like Goichi Yamauchi here, and it's going to be my pick feel quite confident in that. Then we have Kat Zingano against Olivia Parker, and Zingano, 38 years old, been kind of up and down. She had her obviously her stint in the UFC, and almost 39. You would think she'd kind of be slowing down, maybe not looking to better in too many situations, but she's coming in against Olivia Parker here, who is 39. She's coming off a loss in Invicta, and before that she was doing some fights in Valor. So definitely not the same level of competition as you go through Kat Zingano's resume. We have Megan Anderson, Marion Renault, Ketlin Vieira, Juliana Pena. So it's definitely a big gap there. Zingano's going to be a lot shorter, 5'6" versus 5'10", but I think she's going to just be a lot better here. I think this is Bellator giving her a matchup that she can win. I think they definitely want her to get it done here. And yeah, I think Zingano's going to get it done for sure. Minus 850 favorite, I maybe wouldn't put it that high, but she definitely should be a high favorite. I'd probably put it at like minus 600 or something like that. So moving on to Jeremy Kennedy versus Adam Borage. And man, Adam Borage coming off a win against Eric Sanchez, and then he had that split decision against Mike Hamill, man, where Mike Hamill was really bringing it to him. Hamill was bringing that same energy against Usman Nurmagomedov last week. So, that's definitely a tough fight. And 27 years old, Adam Borage, definitely still some room to grow for him there. He's 5'11", 70.5-inch reach. And he is a slight underdog in this one. It's almost a pick 'em. And he's coming up against Jeremy Kennedy, who is 16-2. And yeah, man, Jeremy Kennedy, he just got a win on Bellator 4 months ago against Matt Bissett. Looked real good. 28 years old, so just 1 year older than Adam Borage is, 5'11", 71-inch reach. And I think that, a lot of people are on Borage here, 67% on Tapology. It was a lot steeper in the favor of Borage earlier in the week, but some people have come in on Kennedy here, and some money came in on Kennedy. Let me just check what the actual odds are for this fight real quick, because I think there was some movement of the line. Let me investigate here. Yeah, so it's down actually to a pick 'em. So some money came in on Kennedy. He was like minus 125, went to like minus 135. Now it's a pick 'em at minus 115. So I still like Kennedy here. I think his wrestling is going to be able to put him in top position for a lot of this fight. And I think he can definitely hold his own on the feet with him, man. I don't think it's like Borage is a lot better than him there, if at all. So yeah, I'm going with Jeremy Kennedy here. Some pretty good value on him. This isn't crazy confident. This is a really good fight. This is probably going to be the closest fight on this card, I would say. That Dung and Izzy Williams fight could be close too. But yeah, I think this is probably going to be the best fight on this card. I'm really looking forward to this one, and I do think that Kennedy's his wrestling is going to be able to get it done for him here. So that's going to be my pick. Then moving on to the co-main event, which is Liz Carmouche against Vanessa Porto. So yeah, this is an interesting fight as well. Both 37 years old. Carmouche is going to be 3 inches taller and have an extra inch in reach. She also another girl here who had a stint in the UFC, and then Vanessa Porto. She's had a nice run in Invicta, 4 straight wins against also really good competition. So this is going to be a really close fight. I don't think this is cut and dry, but I do like Liz Carmouche here. I just think her experience is really going to play a factor. They're both around the same age, so if Porto was kind of a younger prospect that had just come off 4 straight wins in Invicta, I might be looking at this a little bit differently. But I do think that Liz Carmouche has just faced better competition, and I think that her game's a little more polished, a little more well-rounded, and I'm going to go with her. And then moving on to Ryan Bader and Lionel Mcquita 2. So obviously, way back in the day, I don't even know when this fight was, 2013 maybe, a long time ago. It feels weird saying that 2013 was so long ago, but it was, man. And Mcquita knocked him out, but obviously two very different in terms of Mcquita's 42 and Bader's 37 now. So they're both much older than they were at that time. Both, safe to say, a little bit out of their prime. Bader has an inch advantage in height, and then Mcquita has an inch advantage in reach. Bader's coming off a loss to Vadim Nemkov, who I really think he's a great fighter. currently the champion of the light heavyweight division in Bellator. And then we have Lionel Mcquita coming off 2 straight losses, one to Phil Davis and one to Gegard Mousasi. So neither of those are bad losses. Not a bad loss for Ryan Bader either, but you know, Mcquita's out of his prime, Bader's out of his prime. I feel like Mcquita is further down over the hill than Bader is. And I think Bader is probably going to be able to get some takedowns and maybe get a finish in like the 3rd or 4th round. I like Bader here. It's not super confident, but it's pretty confident, man. You know, minus 300, that's probably fair, I would say, for the odds. So yeah, I'm going with Bader here. I just think he has more left in the tank than Mcquita does. But you know, 2 guys with very storied careers, and much respect to both guys, but I'm going with Bader. So that's going to be my predictions for this Bellator card, guys. This video, you know, it's exam season right now for me, so it's not super, not quite as long or as in depth as I really wanted it to be, but and you know, it's coming up on fight day. I normally like to get it up a little earlier, but nonetheless, best of luck if you guys decide to bet tonight. Best of luck if you got any bets on ACA, which is starting pretty soon. And yeah, best of luck if you try to bet on Saturday with UFC. So hopefully you make some money, guys. Thanks for being with me. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at LuckyLuxPicks, and I'll catch you on the next one.